putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson, it's the Kevin Jackson Show. KJRadio.com. Donald Trump is a pragmatist. You got to like the way this guy thinks. Sebastian Gorka, who's no longer with the administration, said that Donald Trump has the best instincts of most of the people he's ever met. He says the guy can figure out can look at a situation and respond better than, in his case, he says anybody. I happen to agree with him. And it's funny because when you know people like him, when you think about guys that have to make decisions that cost a lot of money, they're playing with their money, other people's money. They've got investors, they've got regulators, they've got all kinds of people breathing down their throat, and they have to, make a quick decision. But it has to be balanced. It can't be whimsical. And Trump makes these quick decisions on the fly. During the campaign, I bet you there were many people that said, Donald Trump, you need to do this, that, or the other. How much coaching do you think this guy got that he completely ignored and followed his own instincts in the campaign? Which I will tell you is the reason he won. I've worked with enough campaign people to tell you if you listen to them, you have a recipe for failure as a Republican. You can't listen to them. I had a friend who almost became governor of Missouri, but he wouldn't listen to me. Instead, he listened to his politicos. And these are people that don't have a vested interest in, they just run campaigns. They don't even keep score. It's not about winning and losing. So their instincts are generally wrong. Or they don't know how. They go, we'll spin this. They don't even know how to spin something. You know how you spin stuff? You spin it with the truth. So and so, did you ever, have drunk driving, even though it's not on your record or what? You go, yeah, I did. Absolutely. When I was 23, I drank too much. I got in a car. I got pulled over, arrested, used my clout to get it off my record, and I haven't drank since. That didn't happen to me, but I'm saying if that were a question, I would say sure. And I will venture to tell you, there's hardly a person out there that hasn't put themselves in a similar circumstance. The only difference is they didn't get caught. And had they gotten caught, they would have done everything to get it off their record, not because they were trying to get in political office, but because you're embarrassed. See, the truth works. You don't have to spin. Tell the freaking truth. Donald Trump, you've been bankrupt. Yeah, you're right. Went bankrupt. Followed the rules, took advantage of them, went bankrupt. Now I'm worth billions of dollars. I was in with some unscrupulous people. They lost money. I lost money. But you know what? We're no worse for wear, etc. I wouldn't have used that excuse myself. He came back later and said, yeah, but I'm okay. Out of the many companies I built, 4 of them went belly up. Hundreds of them are active. So big deal. He didn't back away. Instincts. But see, we make it sound like it's such a big deal his instinct. Maybe to Gorka it is. And I'm telling you, Trump's instincts are good because in business, you have to hone those instincts. You really do. But in politics, you want to know what the best solution is? Tell the truth. It really is that simple. Most people go, you're right. I have a cousin like that. Oh, my dad had the same thing. My mom, whatever. My brother. They know, they get it. But no, politicians don't want to do that. They want to come off perfect. Republicans especially, holier than thou. And people get it and they don't like it. Donald Trump's like, yeah, been divorced, sure, twice. But his family's still surrounding him. He must be doing something right. Think about that. Hillary Clinton has her daughter and a bunch of paid acolytes, paid people that want to hang around her and try to get her elected because there's something in it for them. The Trump family was like, they all had good careers. Learn from dad. I thought it was amazing. Anyway, good instincts. That's what Sebastian Gorka says, and I'm inclined to agree. And he's done something that we should have done a long time ago when it comes to the military, and that is give the authority to the people on the ground. That's like trying to run a retail store from the corporate tower. Somebody comes in and says, hey, listen, I got shorted, a cigarette in a pack, or, these chips are stale, or the soda machine is giving out too much acid, or whatever. It's not tasting like a Coke. It tastes like, mineral water. You want to make a decision on that from the corporate tower, or you want to let the generals in the field make a decision? Go, no go. But we've decimated the military, taken away the ability for them to think for themselves, and Barack Obama intentionally did this to hurt the military. No bullets as they walk the line at Gitmo and other places, get provoked by other countries. So the Trump administration, they say, pushed the decision-making into the military chain of command as opposed to the widespread micromanagement of military operations seen under the Obama administration. Quote, I don't know of a commander in our armed forces who doesn't appreciate that, he said. It's a guy named Townsend. Our judgment here on the battlefield in the forward areas is trusted. And we don't get 20 questions with every action that happens on the battlefield and every action that we take, Townsend said. I think every commander that I know appreciates being given the authority and the responsibility and then the trust and backing to implement that. Think about these generals. Have you seen General Keane? I've been in this man's presence. I'm telling you, he's an intimidating fact. That dude, I'm a strong-willed guy, so he can't intimidate me. But I'll tell you what, you could bet if you were under his command, he was commanding. He was a leader. Would you trust, if you know who I'm talking about, would you trust him over Barack Obama giving you orders? A bureaucrat who would rather be playing golf probably is issuing orders from the golf course. It's unbelievable. U.S. Special Envoy to the Counter-Islamic State Coalition Ambassador Brett McGurk told reporters in early August that gains against ISIS have dramatically accelerated under the Trump administration, highlighting the terror group's loss of territory. You know why the news doesn't want to tell you how much Trump is winning against ISIS? You know the answer. They can't let you know he's more effective than Obama. I told you guys the other day, slow troop buildup, nothing fancy, nothing big, being judicious about what he's going to do, listening to the generals. That's what Trump is doing. President Donald Trump repeatedly emphasized the U.S. rules of engagement were too restrictive in the ISIS fight during the 2016 campaign. Throughout the early months of the presidency, he has loosened the rules of engagement and launched dozens of drone strikes under looser authorities. He's giving the power to the people who know what to do with it. Donald Trump doesn't need to micromanage a war. He's got amazing thinkers. He's surrounding himself now with generals. I can't tell you that I'm happy with McMaster's. I'm not. But I'll tell you this. Of everybody that's in the Trump administration, I'll take any of them over Barack Obama picks. Any of them. You can't be worse than a Barack Obama, person in his administration. You couldn't pick worse. For me, the minute Barack Obama picks somebody, it's like, they're done. Civilian life over. Cannot get a job. They wrote this. There's a sense among these commanders that they are able to do a bit more, and so they are. This is what a U.S. defense official told the Wall Street Journal in April. In April, we escalated against ISIS. Most people aren't even aware of this. Donald Trump has been, you remember what he said? I'm going to run them off the face of the earth. Let me ask you, how many, first of all, there have been no attacks in the U.S., and knock on wood, let's hope there never are anymore. But how many ISIS attacks are you hearing about over the past month or so? Trust me, they're still out there, but they're relegated to Middle Eastern countries for the most part. We had a couple of attacks in Britain, but for the most part, these attacks are going to start to wane. You're going to see the wins. This is what Trump promised. But the left doesn't want to remind you of that promise because it'll be it's a reminder of how effective the guy is. So the generals are happy. We're a little bit safer. We still got North Korea to deal with, and we'll talk about that a bit. And we still have Iran to deal with, but at least we have somebody who genuinely cares. Kudos to Trump for doing the right thing and giving authority back to the generals.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.